Good day everyone. Welcome to another video on the Python Novice to Pro channel. In today's video, I'm going to discuss the any and all functions of Python with example. Let me take you through the table of content. First, we're going to discuss about the Boolean data type in Python. Then I'll show you the syntax for the any and all functions. Then I'll show you the use cases for both of these functions, the truth values they will have. Then I'll also demonstrate how you can use each of these functions as a logical or a logical and in conditionals. So first, let's start with the Boolean data type. The Boolean data type tells you whether any value is true or false. It only has two values in it. If you give it something, an integer, a float, or a string, it will tell you if it's true or false. Now, the range of false values are limited. I'll just show you examples of the range of false values. When you know the false values, every other value is true. For example, null. You indicate the Boolean value with the bool function, bool. For example, none, which means no value, is false. Let me print it out and show to you. You'll see that none. Let me clear the screen and print this out all over again. You see that none is false. That's one that is no value when there's no value. Then also an empty string has a false value. An empty string is also similar to, sorry, I didn't get that. It has space. There should be no space. So let me clear it and run it all over again. An empty string is a false value. Space is true because there's something there. An empty string. An empty iterable, such as a list or a tuple or whatever, is also false, as you can see on the screen. Then the value 0 is also false. The value 0 is also false. You can see it's false. So these are just a range of false Boolean values you can get. The non-value, the empty string, the empty iterable, and 0 they are all false. Then every other value in Python is true. Good. Now, if you know that, you have gone a long way in understanding how the any and all functions work. Now, let me tell you the syntax of the any and all functions. All they do is the any function takes an iterable and returns whether it is true or false. What it does is it acts like an OR. It tells you in this iterable, is there any item of Boolean value that is true? If it finds just one Boolean value that is true, it tells you that it's true. But if all is false, it tells you it's false. That's it. All also is the same syntax. All takes an iterable and it looks through it and it finds it asking you, are all the values true? If all the values are true, it tells you that it gives you true as a return. But if any one of them is false, if even one in the iterable is false, then all will return false. So, but what's an iterable? An iterable is just a collection. Check out my videos on array data structures. I made a video on array data structures. They are all about iterables, just a collection of items. Iterable can be an array, a string, a tuple, or a list. That's it. So now that we know the syntax for the any and all, let me give you use cases that we can use to test any and all. First, let's produce an iterable that has all true values. We'll see that any will return true and all will return true, just as you can see in this diagram. Let me give you an example. For example, if I have a list of someone's name, let me call it Michael, then I want to find out if all the characters in the name are strings. I want to find out if all the characters in the name. I'll use list comprehension syntax for this. I'll say for character in name, append character.is is alpha. What is alpha does is check if the character is a letter. Now let me show you the list that is created. Then we'll demonstrate it with how to use all and any with it. This is the list that is created. You can see that all these characters are strings, so the list is all true. It has all true values. That's it. Now if you use it as an argument to the any function, you will see that any will tell you that since they are all true in the list, it will return true. You can see it here. It has returned true. And if we do it with all, it will also return true. So remember that any is looking for an evidence that one character is true, while all is looking for evidence that all characters are true. Now let's take the second use case. What if we have an example where the iterable has all false values? If the iterable has all false values, any will give you false because there is no true value in it. All function will give you false because there is all false values. Now let's change this. Let's say number. Well, let it be a string 1 2 3 4 5. So we are going to ask if they are all strings. We are going to ask if they are all strings. I'll show you how the list looks like first before we call all and any on it. This is how the list looks like. You can see that it's all false. The list is all false because none of the numbers is a letter. That's what is alpha is looking for. It's all false. Now let's call any. Let's call any and all. Use them as arguments to the any and all function. Since it's all false, the any function will tell us that give us false. And guess what the all function will give us? Would false also. You see, it's also false. That's the second use case because in this example, all the Boolean values in the iterable are false. Now, what if we have a situation where in the iterable we have only one true value? In this case, in the iterable we have only one true value while all the others are false. For example, like in this example here, let me try to find out multiples of 6. Let me find the multiples of 6. I will say using list comprehensive for I in range. I say give me a range between 1 to 10, 10 non 10 excluded. Then I say is each of the numbers a multiple of 6. Now let me just show you the list that will be created between 1 to, you see that it created a list of, it says that 1 is not, 2 is not, 3 is not, 4 is not, 5 is not, but 6 is a multiple. Now let's change this to a boolean value. Let's change this to a boolean value. Okay, because 0 is false, that's why. Now let's change to the I say anything that is not a multiple of 6. That's why I'm putting this odd, not, to give us false. Anything that is a multiple of 6, it will give us true. Now let's see what we have in the list now. See, everything is false except 6 itself, which is a multiple. So we have in the list boolean values of false, all true, and only one true. Now what will any give us? Let's try any. What any will return? You will see that any will say since there's one true, it will return true. It returns true. Now what about all? All will return false because all needs all the boolean values in the iterable to be true. So you see all returns false. That's this use case. Now let's take another use case for any and all values. What if we have one false values and all the others are true? Yes, we have one false value and all the others are true. Any will return true, all will return false because all needs all the values to be true in the iterable. Let's demonstrate it with an example. For example, I have a zip code here. I have a zip code here that says E1234. Now let's see if all the letters or the characters in the zip code are digits. If they are all digits, let's see. We'll also use list comprehension again. So say find out if all is it. I'll first print out the list that was created. For you to see the list, you see that in the list only one is false while the rest are true. Do you see the false is false because E is not a digit while the rest are true. Now what will any return for this iterable? As you guess, any will return true because it found one true in the iterable or in the list. It found one true, so it will return true. But all is looking for the fact that all the values should be true. So all will return false. I hope you are seeing how all and any work right now. Yeah. You can remember your truth values. Now, what if there's a special case for any and all, an empty iterable? Any will return false, all will return true. Why is it like that? Any will return false because it did not find any true in the iterable. It did not find any true value, so it will return false because it's looking for just one true value. So any will return false, but all will return true because none of the elements are false. All it's looking for is that one false. If there's no one false, then it returns true. So because none of the elements are false, all will return true. Let me show you with an empty iterable. It's a special case. I really had to try to get my head around it after a while. So I'll put an empty list for, so you see, sorry, this screen is not clear somewhat. So you see any return false because since it's an empty list, it did not find one true. But you see that all will return true because it's an empty list, it did not find one false. So all returns true. That's it. Now you can see that from these examples, if you have been thinking critically about the examples, you see that any can act like a logical or, and or can act like a logical and. That's why I created this example for this. I just wanted to demonstrate how any and or can act like logical or and. For example, we have a code there where it asks the user to choose what he had for dinner, what he wants for dinner, and what he had for breakfast. Then based on this choice, you can see in line 3, first of all, if dinner and breakfast are the same, then it will tell you in line 5 that that's not a balanced diet. Please eat a balanced diet. But in the second stage of the conditional, if dinner and breakfast are not the same, it will tell you, okay, that's a balanced diet. Keep up the good work with your diet. Let me run it. Let me run. Okay, I don't like this screen. Let me clear it before I run it. So let me run it and I'll show you how you can use all and any in a conditional like this. So it says, which food do you want for dinner? I'll say rice. Then what did you eat for breakfast? I'll say rice again because I'll say, okay, I didn't eat a balanced diet. So it tell you, please eat a balanced diet. That's it. But now, how can we use any and all? As I told you before, all acts like a logical and any acts like a logical or. So we have an and here, we have an and here, and we have an or here. So all these statements here are truth values. Everything here between parentheses are truth values, while everything here between parentheses are truth values. Because if you say dinner is rice, it's either true or false. If you say breakfast is rice, it's either true or false. So any and all these with truth values. So we can convert this and to all. All we do is I'll just put all here and then remove the and in the middle here. And you know there is the input as I showed in the syntax is an iterable. So we'll just make the two truth values a list. And we do the same thing here. The and will become an or. So we'll remove the and here. I'll make it an iterable. Good. Now what about this or? Just as I told you, any can act as a logical or. So what we do is that we remove the or here, put it in any, because it connects both of them. Then we'll make the input an iterable. So I'll make it a list here. So make the input an iterable. That's all we need. So now instead of using an and or whatever, we can just use any and or to run the code. So see how it works now. So I'll run it now and you'll see it says, which food do you want for dinner? I'll say, okay, I got yam. I want yam. What do you eat for breakfast? I ate yam. It's not a balanced diet, so it says please eat a balanced diet. Now let's go to the second part of the iterable. Let's try it where we ate different foods. Which food do you want for dinner? I want to eat beans. What do you eat for breakfast? I say okay. I took tea. Just keep up the good work with your diet. So you can see now that you can use all and any functions as logical or and logical and. So that's all for the any and functions in Python. If you want to know more about iterables, you can check out the array data structure video I produced. Just a recent video, and you can get more on iterables. So thank you for being part of this video. I encourage you to subscribe to the video and like the video, because I'll be producing more videos like this. So